I've heard you speak a lot about the way you've come to two-way prayer through this pathway of AA and recovery and supporting folks that have challenges around drugs and alcohol.
Phil for you.
Right. Those are my people.
Those are your people. And this sounds like a practice that could help anybody. Do you think that this is just for folks that are struggling with addiction, or do you think this is beneficial for any human?
I think the practice is beneficial for anybody. It certainly started not in relation to alcohol, drugs, or any of that. It started with anybody who's got problems, all right? And needs help.
That's everybody.
That's everybody. That's everybody. And it started by a fellow by the name of Frank Bookman. He was a Lutheran minister, and he had a resentment against his board of directors because they told him he was spending too much money on the food bill for some young men that he was homeless guys that he was helping in a hospice in Philadelphia, and he hated them. But what he learned was his hatred towards those 6 men on his board interfered with his relationship with God. In other words, there was a blockage. His hatred towards them blocked his receptivity to the presence. It was almost like a arithmetic formula.
Well, because his attention, his awareness is pointing towards an emotion instead of towards this be here now present moment.
And a very negative emotion.
Yeah.
A very negative emotion. Hatred, resentment.
Yeah, he's stoking that.
They're stoking it. And there's the mind, and there's the ego. You see?
Yeah, I'm wronged.
Oh, I'm a victim.
These people are horrible. They're
terrible.
Yeah.
You too?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. And we fan the flames.
Yeah. That makes a lot of
sense.
sense.
But it blocks out the positive emotions. Joy, forgiveness, love.
Compassion.
All of those get blocked by this. So that's where he started. His own realization that because he had to surrender after that. You know, when he said, I was the 7th wrong man, he had a spiritual experience. He was in a little chapel and it just became too much and his ego crashed. And when your ego crashes, when you fail, okay, it feels terrible, happened to me, all right? It's like the world is over, and in a sense, it can be over. But a new world can come and take its place if you can benefit from that.
Yeah.
So it can be a big experience like that, a death, a loss, pain can be a transformer. You know, it's an opportunity. Crisis is an opportunity for change.
Yeah.
And we know that. So this is, what happened to me was I failed, okay? And I knew I failed. And I was getting ready to run again, which was my pattern. And I heard a voice. This was before I started doing the two-way prayer. I heard a voice in my head, a voice of sanity.
But this is kind of the two-way prayer. This is the inner voice.
It was a two-way prayer, you know?
Yeah.
And it spoke to me, and I knew it was not my usual mind. I knew it. I mean, it wasn't like an auditory hallucination or something. It was a thought, but it was a different thought. It was coming from a different place in me. A purer place, a more honest place.
Can you remind me of the 4 pillars that let you know that the voice is authentic?
Yeah. So the program was then built around honesty, purity, unselfishness, and love. Usually people have problem with the purity thing.
Yeah.
Because religion can kind of get in the way that, well, you can't do this, got to do that, all that sort of stuff. Honesty, yeah. it has to be honest.
Yeah.
And that's important because it kind of cuts through the BS and gets down to the essence, and you know it.
Yeah.
You know truth when you hear it. Something rings inside of you, you know? Yeah. Unselfishness, same thing. It's like you've been in a prison. Now I'm doing something nice for somebody, you know? I had a guy in my neighborhood just a couple of days ago. I was walking the dog and saw him, and he was starting to go down, you know, with a can of gas. He ran out of gas,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Well, what am I going to do about that? He didn't speak English, you know? I just said, come with me, you know? So he walks home. I get in my car, I drive him. It was about a half mile to a gas station. He gets the gas. I felt different that day.
Yeah.
I did the right thing. I did the unselfish thing. I did the loving thing. And I knew when I had the thought, you're going to go help this guy? I either respond positively or I closed it off. And if I had closed it off, I'd have paid a price internally, connection-wise. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. So there's this inner guide. And the purity thing, just to kind of handle that one up front, because it's there was a group who practiced this, who did it very seriously, and they expanded it. So it's purity of heart, purity of mind, purity of the emotions, sexual purity. In other words, you're looking for contamination. Is there an ulterior motive? Is there a hidden duplicitous force at work in this thing?
Mm-hmm.
You know, am I helping that guy because I know I'm coming here to tape this damn deal
To talk about it.
to talk about it so I can lay it out? No, if that would corrupt it.
We're talking about altruism.
We're talking about freedom from the bondage of self. Self is a prison. Self, the ego, all right, is a marvelous servant, but a terrible master.
Yeah.